Today, in this video, we'll be diving into the world of GoLang, a programming language that is built for speed, simplicity, and concurrency. In this video, we'll cover what is GoLang and how to install a GoLang on your system, set up your development environment. We'll learn some of the basic fundamentals, and finally, we'll build a CLI calculator. So, why Go? Why should you learn Go? Why is it so special? First, Go is fast. It's a compiled language. That means it runs faster than the interpreted languages like JavaScript or Python. Second, it has support for built-in concurrency through Go routines. We'll cover that in later videos, but to understand that Go makes it very simple to run a multiple task without depending upon any third-party library, and it's very efficient. And third is the minimal design syntax. Unlike Java or C++, Go keeps focus on minimal syntax, making it easier for you to learn and write a clean code. So let's begin by installing GoLang. To install Go, come down to go.dev/dl and you can download the executable based on your operating system. For me, it's Windows, which I have already downloaded. Once download, run it as a standard installer, and once the installation is done, come down to terminal or CMD and type Go version. It should print out the version of Go that is installed on your system. For me, it's Go 1.23.5. For you, it might be 1.24 or something else, depending upon the time that you're watching this video. Next, let's set up our VS Code for Go. Open VS Code, come down to extension and search for Go. Here you will find this particular extension. Install this and we are ready to go. So, since the installation is done, let's start by writing our first Go program. To start, let's create a new file and name it main.go. So this will be the entry file for our main Go program. The first line should be package main. So this is compulsory for any file or any program that you will be writing in Go to mention which package does it belong to. So main package defines that this particular file or this particular part is the part of the main package. That is, this will be the first that Go will look for. Second, we'll start by creating function, which is func main, and then the func main or the main function is the entry point for our Go program. This is where our program will start from. In this, we'll just use fmt package, and as you can see, it's auto imported. Then println. So println is a function that will write to console, and here we'll do a standard hello world, and we are done. So this is the basic function that will print out hello world to the console. Now to run this, we can use go run, and the name of the file it should return hello world. And the second way to run this function is to compile and run. To do that, we can do go build main.go. As soon as you run this, we'll have this main.exe. To run main.exe, I can just use main.exe, while on the Linux or Mac, you will have just main object. You can just use it using .main. To declare a variable in GoLang, we use keyword var followed by the name of the variable. Let's take it num and provided by the data type next, which can be int. We have other types as well, int 16, 32, 64, int 8, and then we also have uint as well. But here's the thing, integer supports negative and positive values both, while uint only supports positive. And int and uint can act like int 32 or int 64 depending upon your system architecture. So next, we provide it with the value, and this is how we declare a variable num with value of 10. We can skip the type itself. We can just have var a num, and it can be 15. Here, Go is smart enough to understand if particular variable is type, what is the type of that variable, depending upon the value that is provided to it. It is similar to what TypeScript does, or yeah, I think that's what TypeScript does. But also, you can skip var keyword completely. Let's see, we can give it enum, and we use shorthand assignment operator, which is colon equals to, and then we provide it with value. And that's how we can define a variables using three different ways. It also supports const. It can be written as const. We can give it a value equals to 3.14. Now, for decimal values, the type provided to it is float types, float. And we also have num. We can have like message equals to hello world. And finally, we can have a bool, which is true, and we can give it true. And to define a bool, we can use a bool keyword itself for a boolean, which is true or false. Let's print this value, println, and we say num, it's gonna be club. D dot println, and enum is gonna be enum. Fmt dot println enum supposed to be then we can print message, and last will print is bool, and let's provide with is true. Let's run this program, and to run we use go run main.go. As you can see, we got num, enum, bnum, and all the values that we have provided here. That's how we define variables. Now, let's move on to the next section. That would be control statement. Let's start with if-else statement. So if-else is very similar to what we have in any other languages. Let's say we have num equals to value, and we can go like if num greater than 10. And we can do fmt, which is format dot println, and we say is greater than 10. So it is very similar to what we have in other languages, but here condition is not defined inside a parenthesis. We can just skip the parenthesis as it is. To define a else if, we can just use else if, and we can go like num equal 10, and then we can be like, let's copy this, paste here, is equal 10, and we can just provide it with the else statement, which would be like let's paste this is lower than 10. That's how we define if statement. Also, one thing that can be done is basically, rather than defining it here, which is very common sometimes, is that you can do it here, colon, and this. So there are two ways that you can define here. Like you can either have this value before, or you can have it later. Now let's run this program and see. It's 10. Yes. Now let's go with 11, and let's try running it once again. So we get is greater than 10. That's it. That's how you can use if and else if statements. Another control statement that we have is a switch case statement. A switch case statement is very similar to what we have in most of the languages. We can provide it with the day, and let's set it to Monday. And then we go with switch, and we provide it with the day. And then we go with the values case. Let's say if it's Monday, we do fmt dot print, we'll use println, and we provide with the is Monday. Then we add another case, and we say let's do it Tuesday. And we can be like fmt dot println is Tuesday. And we can also have our default case, which would be like fmt.println, not sure which day it is. Let's save and let's try to run this program once. If you are coming from any other programming language, you might have seen that if we don't have something like a break statement after this, like a break, it would keep running. But in Go, it's very different. It will provide a break statement by default. You don't need to provide yourself, and it will only run that particular case, not every other after that. And also, like with the that we saw with if statement, we can also do it similar to this. We can also have an initialization done right with the statement itself, and it should run as is it. Now let's come to loops. In GoLang, we only have a single loop, which is for loop. The syntax for loop is very similar. We have for initialization. Let's take as num less than like equal to 0, num less than 5, and num plus plus. If you notice that we don't have parentheses, again we can just go as it is. We can do print.println, fmt.println, and it will be, let's keep it as iteration and provide with the num. And let's run and see. Yes, so it goes from 0 to 4 because it's num less than 5. So here are a few things that can happen in this. So one thing you can do is completely skip this for loop. Even this will run. This will be an infinite loop. Second, what we can do is we can do like provide initialization before, and we just give a condition like num less than 5, and then we can just print num. But if we do that, we know that this will again keep on repeating, so we can just add num plus plus here. Let's save and run this as well. Yes, no other changes. So in GoLang, for loop can be used as we use a while loop. It can be used as an infinite loop, or it can be used as a normal for loop. Unlike any other language, it doesn't provide it with any other loop except for loop itself. Let's come down to functions now. So in any other languages or in any programming languages, function play a very important role. To declare a function, we use func keyword, and we can add a function name. Let's keep it as add. So it will take two parameters, which will be a, it will be of type int, and p would be of type int, and a return will be defined as again int. So how we declare a variable in Go, as we have seen that the type comes after the name of the variable. So it's similar to here, but also a return type of function should be defined using the type. If it's not defined, that means this function is gonna return nothing. It's gonna return just a void. We will have int so that this function will return int. Now we can just use a return keyword, which would be a plus b, and let's call this function. Let's keep it as a result, and we call this as add of 20 plus 20, and let's just print, not print, we have to use fmt.println, and we just print result. It should be result, and let's try running it. Go run main.go once again, and its result is 30. So this is very basic implementation of functions. In future videos, we'll also see other data types like pointers, references, and how can that be used with the, and even structs, interfaces, and how that can be used with the function and return types in future. But this is enough for us to get started with GoLang and writing a program. Let's build a CLI calculator, and let's get started. For that, first we need two variables. We need num1 and num2, We can also define multiple variables provided with the type. So here we'll be taking num1 and num2 with float 64. And second, we can take operator, and this will be of type string. Now, let's add a message for user to let them know that they have to enter the first number, and rather than doing println, let's just do print, because we don't want them on the next line to enter value. And we can use again fmt has scanln, which is a method that will read from console, and to store that value inside a num1 we'll use and num1. And is an reference operator, and we will look into that in the later videos when we'll do memory management and data types. But for now, just understand we have to use and symbol with the variable to have the value that we get from the console to be stored into that particular variable. Next, we do fmt dot again print, and let's add enter second number, and then again we'll do fmt dot scanln, and we'll do and true. Now let's ask for the operator. So we go with print, select your operator, and let's provide it with the values itself. It could be plus, minus, multiplication, or division. Anything other than that, it would be just an invalid operator. And we have to store this as well, so we'll just use scanln to and string. String and operator. Now we have gotten all the required values. Now let's use switch statement to create it. So we can use operator, and let's go with for case plus. We will do fmt dot println. It would be result equals to num1 plus num2. Then we do with case minus, again fmt dot println result num1 minus num2. Case multiplication, we can do fmt dot println result is num star 2, num1 star num2. And yes, I forgot about comma here. And then will be case slash, it will be fmt dot println. Let's move it to result num1 slash num2. It doesn't matter if we have a space or not, and that's going to be default. Then we just do fmt dot println unknown operator provided. Here there is one thing that we have to also take care of, is that if a num2 is 0, we will get an error. To prevent that, what we can do is we can wrap this function up inside an if statement, which is if, again we don't have the if num is not equals to 0, then we do this, or else that is that num is 0, or it's not num, it should be num2, else we go with fmt dot println, and we just do error division by 0, and that should be it. So this is our program, which is very simple, CLI calculator. Let's run this. Go run main. Main.go. Now we have to enter first number. Let's do with 14. Second number be 2, and let's do multiplication. It says, no, I pressed 8. Okay. Let's do once again. And we go with 14, 2, and we do multiplication, and we get result 28. Let's try giving num2 value as 0. So let's rerun this, and we provide 10, 0, and operator let's do as negative. We get error 0 by division. So that's it. So we have just written a basic calculator. Let's try making it little bit different. Let's add one more value, which would be where it keep going equals to true. And here, after just this, let's create a for loop. For keep going not equals to false. And in this, we just take this whole statement that we had, and let's move it to here. And just after asking this, we'll ask fmt dot println, do you want to do another calculation? And we just ask yes or no. Right, we don't need semicolon, and we'll do fnt dot scan ln, and we put it to keep going. But here again, here's something that if we do this, which is keep going n or y, but the type is declared as boolean, we can't do that, can we? No, we can't. Obviously, we can't do that. So what we'll do, we'll keep it as it is, and where user input will be of type string, and we will not do anything else. So as soon as we get this, we'll put it inside user input. Now, as soon as we get the data, let's start by putting it here. So if user input equals to y, then we set keep going equals to true. Else we just say keep going equals to false. So what will happen here, as soon as this goes by, we will just keep on adding multiple operators. Now if you notice that this has been asked before, so we need to move this inside our for loop so that we can keep on asking user multiple times what do they want to do. Now let's run this final calculator, and let's see. First number 14, second number 2. We want to do division. Do you want to keep continuing? I want to do yes. Oh, it broke. Why did that broke? Yes, because I used a small y while it used a capital. So we can use or user input equals to small y. Yes. Small y. If either one of them is true, we should keep on going. Let's do it once again. Go run 14, 2, we do division, we get 7. Yes, I want to keep going. Again, first number 10, second number 12. What I want to do is multiplication, and we don't want to continue anymore. So that's it, folks. We just created a CLI calculator that will not just calculate two values, but it will also keep on asking user until they exit your program. In this video, you have learned Go basics, including how to set up a development environment, installing a Go, learning some basic fundamentals like declaring a variables using control statements like if-else statement, for loops, and functions. And this will prepare you for the upcoming videos regarding the concurrency, memory management, API development, and many more. In the next part, we'll be talking about memory management and slices versus arrays, and also some of the core data structures. So don't forget to like this particular video, and also drop in comment if you have anything specific that you want me to talk about on this video. Thank you very much, and happy coding.